He'd like to take the time to apologize for the week-long break, but what can we say? One can only deal with someone's insanity. Now, more Defender, twice. Chapter 13. The Other Side. I must say, I find this rather strange, Princess Celestia said, looking over the elegant alicorn that stood before her. When Twilight had ascended, become the newest princess of Equestria, Celestia had been overjoyed at her student's accomplishment. It was a bit strange, of course, and took some getting used to. Celestia had been truthful when she said that Twilight needed to see her not as a teacher but as a friend, someone to learn from and to reach. They were managing through and figuring out their new relationship. But while seeing Twilight with wings had taken a little bit getting used to, seeing at first of her faithful student standing before her with the same bearing and regal beauty as her own was mind-blowing. Her Twilight had remained basically the same under her transformation, save for 3 additions: the wings and a little extra orchid that made her flatulence smell like roses. Being an alicorn rocked. It most certainly does. But this one was radically different. Her mane billowed on behind her, caught in the mystical ethereal wind that almost seems to catch Celestia's own. It was the color of the sky at sunset, with purples and hues and a hint of orange-red along the edges. Her crown and royal vestments were also different from what Celestia's Twilight wore. A brilliant silver, like moonlight captured and shaped, studded with diamond stars and tiny streaks within metal like comets. It was the eyes that truly captivated her. When Celestia looked into this Twilight's eyes, she saw the same deep ancient orbs that shone back into her from the mirror's surface. The same joys, same sorrows, lifetimes lived and lost and regained again. This Twilight had lived a very long time. I am just as startled, Princess Aurora, as this Twilight had informed her group once she found out what was happening, said, reading the White Alicorn's thoughts as she began. I look at you and comprehend what I am seeing. I understand who you are in this world, and you have gone through all that I have. And yet I also gaze upon you and see my faithful students and days, so eager to please and discover new things. Princess Aurora shook her head, looking upon Luna. And you. You see you as an alicorn as well. Try as I might, I still think it is a mere trick, and at any moment you will return to being Captain Night Dancer, commander of the Royal Guard. So, if Luna is captain of the guard, Sai said uneasily. Princess Aurora sighed. Indeed, brother. In my world, you are Prince Morning Star. Sadly, in my realm, you grew jealous that ponies toiled away under your sun and played and relaxed under my night sky. Ponies saw the sun as the awakener, destroyer of dreams, and the single work must begin anew. My night was a time of romance and play and sleep. You sought to keep the night away forever. Only recently you were restored by Sunny and her friends Fluttershy, Applejack, Verity, and Rainbow Dash. Pinky Pike, Skillet said, raising an eyebrow. The most fun-loving Capricorn you ever meet. Princess Aurora smiled softly as she looked upon Celestia. Long have I worried about my faithful student. Not about her abilities or accomplishments, but how she would cope if I were to leave her. Sunny days it is rare to form bonds of love and friendship, but when she does, they are rather strong. Seeing you here, so noble and strong, eases my heart. Mine as well, Celestia said. Before you two kiss, Discord said, putting in between the two Alicorn princesses. Not that I wouldn't mind that. Could we return our attention back to the matter at hand? You made a rapid increase in Twilight sightings? Velvet asked, surprised Discord was taking all of this so seriously. Oh, no. I am more concerned about supper. If we want to beat the rush, we'll have to... Silly me, I can just bring the restaurant to us. He snapped his fingers, and the bureau was suddenly filled with tables and waiters. The Twilights at the butts had already gathered seated at tables, looking around confused while Discord took out menus, passing one to Fluttershy, who only dressed up in an elegant gown while he wore a snazzy tusk. Now, what looks good? We have more important things to focus on than your stomach, Nightlight said. Baby Twilight, wearing a little gown as well, pointing to her tummy. No, not your stomach either. As my wife pointed out, we are seeing a dramatic increase in Twilight appearances, while Twi here, he gestured towards the metallic Twilight, and her partner Faith was looking at the dessert menu to see if they had any good pie.
doesn't count, as he has been in Equestria for several days. Lady Twilight, Dusk, and Princess Aurora all appear in hours of each other. That means the rips in time and space are clear.
Spike raises his hand. I don't mean to poke holes in everything, because Celestia knows. I know what? The princess asked. Oh, it's kind of an expressive, princess. I know the expression? Celestia asked, raising an eyebrow. I can assure you I know more than one Spike. No, I mean, that Celestia knows is an expression. It's an expression? Luna asked. An expression of what? No, is not an expression.
For goodness sake, Spike. Try and make some sense.
Faith complained. He leaned towards Twilight and whispered,
Spike, it needs to make sense.
Never mind. Spike hung his head and took a calming breath. I don't mean to poke holes in everything, but I thought you said that Twilight had been blown up to bits. Spike glanced over at Nightlight and gestured towards Dusk. He was giving his orders away. But if he says Twilight was some junk in the trunk... Could we not word it like that? Dusk complained. Then how could he even be here? Shouldn't he been blown to bits too? Nightlight's horn glowed and he dragged over a chalkboard, implying a space, ignoring the complaints from the other Twilights at having their tables go closer to each other. Selecting a purple piece of chalk, the unicorn quickly drew a crude ridges of a star.
You see, I've been working on a theory to explain that. I believe both Dusk and Twilight were blown to bits and thus ceased to exist.
But I'm here now, Dusk said to Nightlight, and boy was it throwing out to see what his mother would have looked like as a male.
Right, but you have to remember, we are dealing not only with space but time. Within this framework is each to imagine a scenario where Twilight and Dusk were ripped away from their universes to their gendered cross-universes, only to be returned a fraction of a second before they exploded.
But shouldn't one of them remember all of this happening? Celestia asked.
That's the beauty of all this. It happened at the same time, but they traveled through time before it occurred.
That doesn't make any sense! Twilight complained.
Steadily appearing.
Fate fast. With Twilight glare, he shrugged lots.
Even I think our lives are a bit unbelievable. Waiter, is this apple pie made for stealing?
Nightlight frowned, moving away from the chalkboard and grabbing a plate of gel from a nearby table.
You have to remember that time is a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Spike frowned. When did you come up with that?
From this,
Nightlight said, holding up the book. Time Travel for Idiots by the Doctor. Featuring a foreword by Derpy Hooves. Oh, I own that copy! It's what I use for time travel all day. Phyllis shook her head. Listen, none of this matters. What matters is rounding up the Twilights and getting my daughter back. We need to be actively hunting them down and bringing them in. We've been trying, Skulu complained. But we can only work so hard. We need... Skulu gritted her teeth, while Spike clamped his clawed hands over his ears, or ear holes, or whatever. Discord actually cringed as the loud screeching and scraping sound assaulted his senses, and baby Twilight instinctively clicked her hooves and banished her ears away. Smiling in delight as the world went silent. Luna and the other Twilights, along with Nightlight and Velvet, all shuddered in physical pain from the audio assault. Princesses Celestia and Aurora turned, glaring at the intruder who was creating the horrible sound. Years of practice had letting him not show the pain he felt from the audible strike. Finally, managing to turn around, Skulu stared in surprise at the chalkboard Nightlight had been using to illustrate his point at Dusk and Twilight. It wasn't the chalkboard that was surprising, of course. It was the being standing at the chalkboard, running a razor-sharp fantail along the surface. Skulu was surprised by how big the intruder was. It was as tall as Celestia and Aurora, but built like Big Magatas. Thick, muscular chest and powerful legs. His head and forelegs were gray and made him look very much like a short-muscled goat. His flank was green and covered in scales. Instead of his normal tail, his stretched out, a heavy fin on top and a sharp blade on the end. Okay, I can do a Keith David.
So, you have a Twilight problem, do you?
The intruder said, his dark eyes peering at the group.
Y'all know me. You know how I earn a living. I'll catch this pony for you. But it ain't go easy. Bad pony. Nothing like going down the pond chasing bluegills at common cards. This mare drive you insane. A little shaking, a little tenderizing, there you go. Well, you gotta do it quick. Yeah, I'll bring back your Twilight. But it's not gonna be pleasant. I value my neck a lot more than 3,000 bits, agent. I'll find her for 3, but I'll catch her and kill her for 10. You gotta make up your minds. You want it done? Dandy up. You wanna play it cheap? Be at this whole winter. I don't want no volunteers. I don't want no mates. There's only too many captains in this country. 10,000 bits for me by myself. For that you get the head, the tail, the whole damn thing.
The intruder said, his glower fading as he looked upon Celestia and Luna,
The little girls.
"Hello, Dodd," Luna said with a smile. "Who's this guy?" Skulu whispered. "He is Lord Tydal," Celestia said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "King of the Maritime, master of the Capricorns."
Blah, blah, blah.
Tydal said, rolling his eyes.
Celestia, never mind titles. The only ones I care about are husband and father.
Walked over and nuzzled the Solar Queen.
How are you, sweetie?
Flustered with all this that's happening to Twilight.
10,000 bits, and I'll take care of it. Another 5,000, and I'll skin and cook her for you.
"No!" Nightlight Velvet screamed. When Tydal raised an eyebrows, confused as Spike chimed in. "These are Twilight's parents, sir,"
Spike,
Tydal said gruffly.
kill any dogs lately?
"You see, that joke going over all your heads, but me, I've read the God Squad, and it's hilarious." "It wasn't a dog," Luna reminded him. "That was King Sombra."
His name was Wiggles, and I loved him.
Tydal said with a sniff, turning his attention to Nightlight.
Yes. I sense the same mopey, stick-in-the-flank attitude is shining. I see the resemblance now. Fine. Family discount. I'll do the cooking for free.
Nightlight and Velvet flapped about, arguing they didn't want the Twilights killed to cook. School, meanwhile, obviously never seen the educational video. Capricorns, they're not so silent killer. Raised her eyebrow and flashed at God to see a disbelieving look. "You look tough, but when you're dealing with some especially dangerous Twilights, do you think..." Tydal ripped around, horns glowing as lights began to flicker on and off around the bureau. Spike gulped and tried to find a place to hide, only to find that he and Skulu were now stuck in a literal spotlight that Tydal had summoned to shine down on them. You know, if Tydal was in Fall of Starfleet, the fic would have been open in a few chapters. Okay, so I haven't seen Princess and the Frog as many times as I should, and I haven't listened to the song as often as I... and haven't listened to it as much as I should, but I beg of do this!
Don't you disrespect me, little man! Don't you dare insult the ride. My patience should never be pressed, 'cause I've sent plenty to the other side.
He sent plenty to the other side.
Don't think I can do it, huh? Doubt my credentials? Well, let me clue you in. Sit down at this table, put your mind at ease. Let your guard down for a second. I'll do as I please. I can see your future, and it doesn't end well for you. I could send you all and take your souls. You do have a soul, don't you, Spec? And end you clean and true. I've got teeth, I got my tail, I've got magic, I haven't tried. And I've sent plenty to the other side.
He sends plenty to the other side.
Now, let's see, how should this go? Before we begin things, so I know. Let's see, I got a friend. I'll look to your past before we discuss the end. Now you, my little orange fantasy, are trying to save the newest member of royalty. Listen, I think they had enough of that, but what do I know? Your task is to run, but the spirits are low, 'cause Nightmare's assassins want you to go.
Tydal leaned in, clicking his teeth together.
They give you Twilights, huh?
Yeah, Skilla admitted after a moment. Goofy name, but decent as can be.
Well, so it would be nice if we had another ally on side. Someone with experience fighting and waging battles. Of course, if you want to set being his help, you best be nice not to insult him.
I get it, Skulu groaned.
Now you, what do you see? You might be needing someone like me. On you, little Drake, I'm not gonna waste much time! You've been pushed all around your life, you've been built by your Twilight, and Celestia and the rest. And you, should you and Mary marry? Spike's eyes grew wide and grins. So you have a disappointing wedding night. Spike frowns like Skulu grizzes. But to your past, what do I see? Tydal suddenly leans forward, his nose touching Spike's. You taking my dear Wiggles away from me.
Let go already! Spike complained. Sir! He quickly added.
Tydal leaned back, a smug little smile on his face. Well, this has been fun. But I will now admit the truth. I don't hurt kids. They get free passes.
We do? Skulu said. Tydal looked to Celestia and Luna, who nodded. Then why all this?
I do a little scary ponies from time to time, but my offer still stands. I will help you catch these Twilights, at least some of them.
I don't know, Skulu said.
Why does he get to decide?
Nightlight asked, only to be ignored.
Sick my head, kids. Come on, kids. For just sake, or poor Capricorn's hoof.
Skulu and Spike suddenly debating this offer for a moment before finally reaching out, pressing their hoof/hand to Tydal's.
Yes.
Purple light suddenly shines around them, and Tydal begins calling upon armor and weapons. Baby Twilight happily begins beating us some drums, while Discord holds a frightened Fluttershy and eats its back away nervously. Faith has his wings spread out, protecting Twi as he tries to figure out what's going on.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Mutilation Central! Mutilation Central! Mutilation Central! Mutilation Central!
Yara flies up to Skulu and Spike while Tydal lays a foreleg in front of his face, so he transforms into a monstrous version of himself. Flesh becomes dark water, letting us see the black stone that now makes up its bones. Can you feel it? It's coming all right! I hope you'll be satisfied. I'll say this once, don't doubt me, 'cause I got plenty on the other side! He'll do what he needs to do. Let's hope what it needs! Woo! Lights go out, leaving only Tydal's stony skull visible. Lights let out a puff of thin air, turning out all the lights. Lights instantly flickered. Skulu and Spike found themselves standing where they started, while Tydal, looking normally, was calmly chatting with Celestia about a new cake recipe his wife found. Discord crossed his arms over his chest and gave a dismissive sniff. When I was ripping off songs, it was original. Into the keep. Wouldn't be singing a opening song? Luna asked, glancing over at Baby Twilight. The fall was snugly in her saddlebag, and was slung over the Moon Princess's back. Her little eyes would shut as she happily slumbered. It had been quickly decided that since Luna was the only one that Baby Twilight remained calm, other than Discord, but he tended to calm her down by ending up as the butt of her pranks, and she should remain with the princess until she was returned to her home. Of course, Nightlight had been counting on Luna volunteering to join Tydal and escorting Skulu and Spike to the next leg of the Twilight hunt. Positive, Spike said, hoping that the princess wouldn't begin crooning all over the place. Skulu focused on following the steady buzz she was feeling in her little form. I felt that had received by some intelligence sent by spies information on a potential Twilight spy. Tydal and Luna had volunteered to take Skulu and Spike across the ocean to bring them and the new Twilight back to safety. I'm just saying, it feels like we should be singing our trumpeting song. Luna opened her mouth and belted out, on the road again. I just can't. Bah! Baby Twilight exclaimed, slowly waking up. She clicked her hose together and Luna let out a gasp of delight. Several moon pies appeared before her. The Night Princess began to happily gobble up the treats, forgetting about her singing. I'm beginning to like this Twilight, Spike said, holding up his fist. Bro hoof. Baby gurgle, kicking his fist and squealing happily. Skulu let out a yelp as she was lifted up in the air by Baby's dark magic. All cooing as she hugged Ophelia and resembled her faint blood fussy Tilly. Okay, enough hugs, Skulu said. Her voice cheery, even her words weren't.
Twilight, what does he try to kill this?
Tydal said calmly, sensing a cockatrice that was trying to sneak up on him, tossing their full. Baby Twilight giggled and began to shake the poor snake rooster like it was a rattle's giggling delight.
Better.
Tydal asked Ophelia. Thanks.
Still getting the pause.
Tydal asked. Yeah, this is Twilight this way. So he goes over to Capricorn. You said you'd keep us nearby, right?
In the same direction as we are heading, and that disturbs me.
Chop! Skulu glanced over his shoulder, watching Baby Twilight's cheeks puff out as he slowly slipped a cockatrice's tail in her mouth. Full away a moment after she was done. The little bell said, several feathers shooting from her mouth. Considering what we already had to deal with, the filly muttered. Tydal's Keep marked the end of Equestria and the beginning of the realm of Capricorns. Situated just off the coast in the middle of Bridal Bay, above the surface capital of the Maritime, that served as both a beacon and warning to ponies that dwelled in Equestria. For some, the Keep represented the strongest defense Equestria had against invading forces, an advancing army seeking to calm Equestria when making it through the Capricorn territory, not to sail the seas without permission from the Capricorns. You see, this is why this fic makes it impossible for the movie to happen. But the Keep was a double-edged sword, for while the Capricorns would act as a buffer, most ponies knew it wasn't out of love for Equestria. Those Princess Celestia and Princess Luna had been raised by Lord Tydal, and much of their style of rule came from the old goat. There was little friendship among the two countries. Ponies saw the Capricorns as warlike barbarians who lusted for blood and slaughter. They, in private of course, mocked the king, seeing Lord Tydal not as royalty, but as a general, Lucius the Ganger. In turn, the Capricorns looked upon many of the ponies of Equestria and scoffed, seeing them as soft and cowardly, unwilling to fight their own battles, creating a system of corruption and greed that only served to destroy harmony.
We do believe in harmony,
Tydal told Scootaloo Spike as he trotted along the beast.
Perhaps we believe in even more than Equestria. Tell me, what did the richest and most powerful ponies do when they need a job done?
Scootaloo frowned, thinking the question odd. They would hire other ponies to do the labor?
Would they join these laborers and complete the task?
Scootaloo thought Diamond Tiara shook her head. They'd better sit back and mark the hard-working ponies getting the job done.
Exactly.
Tydal said gruffly.
The Maritime does not do things this way. What is my job, little one?
You're a king of the Capricorns, Scootaloo said.
And what does my job?
I don't know. Sitting in court, making some laws. Tydal laughed. It was quickly joined by Luna and baby Twilight, who was laughing mostly because she liked laughing. I am sorry, Scootaloo, Luna said with a chuckle. This is the fault of my father sitting on a throne. Luna began laughing again. Spike, who had been with Twilight when they first met the Capricorns, decided to fill in Scootaloo. Lord Tydal doesn't like sitting in his grand hall. His throne is a simple stone chair.
I have taken something less grand, but then my subjects demanded I accepted the gift.
He grumbled. Tydal began to turn, following the curve of the beats. Up ahead, Scootaloo could see the Keep fronting in front of the wire, looking like a sandcastle created by his kid culture.
The Capricorns believe that those with power and wealth owe more to our society than those less off. Thus are expected to work their hardest. My wife and daughters are immortal and divine, same as I. But they work just like the youngest and lowest of our kingdom. My daughters, Coral and Misty, are captains of my royal guard, and share the duties of running my while I'm away. They are also an event planner, world-class athlete. My wife and queen, Meridia, is in charge of all educational standards among my subjects, and also the kindergarten teacher for the littlest of Capricorns.
And what about you? Scootaloo asked, fascinated by Tydal's society.
I am the commander of my armies, one of combat trainers for new recruits, a goodwill ambassador, according to Celestia. Part of the hunting parties that bring in fresh stock for our meals. I also make many of the pots, stores containers used in my keep, and many of the cities on the Maritime surface. Oh, and sometimes I play skee-ball.
Busy guy, Spike said.
Indeed, Spike, indeed.
The god of the sea led the group up the curving ramp towards the great stone doors of the keep. 2 sentries stood on guard, dressed in their simple armor made of a helm, designed to protect the sides of their head from attack. Sword shoes that barely covered their hooves. A thin breastplate adorned with the mark of Tydal's house, a tidal wave just beginning to crest. Not very armored up, are they? Scootaloo said.
Do your wonderbolts wear heavy armor before putting on their shows?
Tydal asked. As Scootaloo's confused look, let me explain. Capricorns are very fast on land. Could probably outrun my father. But on the water they are fast as any wonderboat. Armor will weigh them down. The doors to the keep open, and the group is stepped inside. Capricorns are designed for battle. The farm blades are razor sharp, and the muscles in their tails are strong as an earth pony's back legs. Their scales are also as strong as steel. The only weak points they have are on the sides of their faces and chests. They only wear enough armor to protect themselves while not limiting their speed to under the waves. Princess Luna! Several Capricorns called out, swarming the princess. The co-ruler of Equestria happily greeted the approaching Capricorn soldiers, exchanging well wishes with each of them. Due to the entire nation being turned to stone after the Battle of Discord, None of them had been around when Luna became Nightmare Moon, thus did not hold the same fears Luna's own subjects did. Capricorns had always delighted in night, for their days were not measured by the sun and moon, but the waves, and thus for them, some days were spent entirely under the starry skies. Skillet and Spike quickly ducked, weaved under their stomping legs, trying to avoid being trampled by the Capricorns that were gathering to greet their king and princess. As the crowd grew bigger, the two little ones found themselves forced to duck in the hallway and further still. Distance between them and the others quickly grew until Skillet and Spike found themselves deep within Tydal's keep, no way of knowing where they were or how to get back to Tydal and Luna.
So, this is really bad, Spike whispered. I know. We are lost in a castle that can sink underwater. I know, Skillet grounded out. A castle full of trained soldiers that can at best tolerate ponies. I know, Skillet snapped. A castle full of trained soldiers that also sinks under the water and can... Spike! Skillet sighed. I know! The drink blushed. Sorry about that.
He whined several moments, the sound of footfalls, Skillet's heels clicking against the stone tiles, filling the quiet of the hall.
So, we are totally... Spikes!
Skillet said, cocking her head to the side, trying to find a way out.
I can't find a way out, Spike complained. I've been here before. I was here for a week, a year ago, and I still don't know how to get around this place. I can find a way because of Baby Twilight.
Skillet now trying under the rather quickly as she made a hard right down the new hall. Drake stared at Billy, wondering if she lost her mind.
How the hell does Baby Twilight help you find your way out? So you not even here! Exactly, Skillet said.
Pace increasing as she rushed down another hallway. Spike huffing a puppy to keep up.
I can sense Twilight, remember? Well, I am getting a little bead on one right now. It must be a baby Twilight. Princess Luna won't let her out of sight. I follow the buzzing, we find Baby Twilight, and we find Princess Luna. That might actually work, Spike's over grin.
Little Faye was someone on wanted protest.
Ugh, son of eating all those diamonds for breakfast. Don't worry, Skillet called out, almost full gallop.
They could hear the tears and cries of the large group of Capricorns. It knew it must be the welcoming party that had sought out Tydal and Luna.
We are almost...
The two bolted through the door, only for their eyes to go wide in shock. Instead of finding themselves in the main entry hall of the keep, they're standing in a wide open area whose floor was made of wet sand. All around them, Capricorns were cheering and stomping their hooves in delight for the main entertainment. Entertainment that Skillet and Spike were only a few feet away from.
By Celestia,
Spike whispered in dread.
We're in the arena!
He watched as a Capricorn warrior scared off of a large timber wolf. The beast must have been at least 20 feet long from snout to rump, and his blood-red eyes glowed with a sinister light as it stared down its prey. The great wolf took a step forward, saliva dripping from its maw as it sniffed at Capricorn. Growling, it began to circle him. For her part, the Capricorn melee continued on, graying tail swinging back and forth. Skillet got the distinct impression that the Capricorn female was only toying with the timber wolf, wanting it to make the first move. She dragged her hoof along the sand, sending bits of it scattering about the arena floor. The attack came without warning. The timber wolf lunged forward, jaws open wide as it made its way to swallow the warrior princess whole. The female melee leapt into the air. Lady Wolf soared past her and crashed into the arena wall with a boom so heavy it made the ground shake. Capricorns were so slow on land, they were very agile, able to keep their balance in the smallest of spaces and leap about like frogs. The beast rose back up, waiting for Capricorn to leap on its back, tail blade slicing out the wolf's ear. The wind monster howled in pain and tried to spin it around to dislodge her, hopefully snatch her, but the fire really used its own speed against it, the tail letting the timber wolf cut off its own head as it twisted. The beast fell to the ground, body spasming. Skillet and Spike watched with wide eyes as the Capricorn bear threw off her coat and turned around to the crowd.
Is this enough for you? She bellowed. Do you now believe the words I say? I do not know what bewitchment has befallen you, my brothers and sisters, but see for yourself, I am who I claim to be. Only the great Lord Tydal could do better than I have done. Do you not know, see, that I am Princess Sifo Tremor, Captain of the Eastern Guard, and student of Tydal Coldwater?
Twilight? Spike whispered, staring at the Capricorn's purple coat in familiar bob cut.